What's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing some valve lash adjustment on my 9924 valve. So this will go for 98.5 to 2002 trucks. We'll start off here by showing you the truck and going over what you need, because you're going to need a cold engine to 60 Fahrenheit and under, and mine is hot right now, so we're going to let it cool down overnight. I just pulled it in the garage here. So we're just going to go over some tools that you'll need. So it's pretty basic. You're going to need a set of feeler gauges. You can choose to do some angled ones here, or you can, on these, you can use some flat ones, which I got both here, see what I need. But anyways, you're going to need a 10 and a 20 thousandths of an inch feeler gauge. That's what you're going to set them at. Your exhaust at 20, your intake at 10. So spec is a lot different than that. But if you want to check them, then you got other ones so you can check and see what they're at, because you can leave them, but I'm going to tighten them up to the tightest that they can go for 10 and 20. So what you're going to need, this right here, 15 millimeter wrench or socket, maybe a wrench and a socket for your valve cover nuts. You got 5 of them up there. I've seen some guys have had 10s, whatever, you'll figure that out. Not a big deal, you should have that. You'll have a torque wrench for tightening down your rocker arms there once you tighten up the lock nut on there, and for your valve cover. You'll need this here. It is a 15/16. Some guys are 22 millimeter. I don't know why. I mean, it's just a Dodge thing. Seems with every manufacturer that they're different, but you're going to have to roll over the engine to find top center. So you're going to need a 22 millimeter or the 15/16 in my case for the alternator nut here. That's what we're going to be using going backwards. And you'll need, say, a 3/8 breaker bar, or just a ratchet. I'm going to use this guy right here because I can put it on the tensioner, and you can put tension on the belt, and then you can roll it over. I mean, it rolls over fine, but it's not hard to hold with your other hand and roll it over so your belt doesn't slip while you're turning it over, and you can then bar the engine over to get to top center, or to and then you can roll it over again to do your other adjustments. But we'll get to that later in the video. In the meantime, if you're looking, you can go out and buy a barring tool from Cummins that'll fit way underneath your turbo back there, and it'll go into your flywheel. It's just like a starter, right? Just how your starter engages into your flywheel, it looks the same as the end of one of those, and you can put that in there and just bar your engine over, which is easier, but it's going to cost you whatever, 60 bucks for one of those, and it's just as easy to do this. I mean, if I get into doing trucks more often or start up a business or something, I would definitely buy one. But for me doing this right now, I'm just going to bar it over with the belt and alternator method. So yeah, we'll get to taking this apart in the morning. Alright, we let the truck cool down here overnight. Beautiful sunny day outside here today. It's supposed to be up to like 90 degrees today or something, so that'll be nice. Anyways, getting to the truck here, we're going to start off by taking off the valve cover with your 15 mil wrench, or whatever your size bolts could vary. So we'll start by doing all these. Pull out whatever bolts you can. I don't think you can get that last one out, and but I think we're gonna have to try and pull that up as we pull it out. We'll get that off, and then I'll go to getting my the crankcase vent here off, which is right here. See that guy? Okay, so our cover's off there. We got our vent off there. I forgot to say what you'll need to find top center, because you can't really see it from here. You'll need a small mirror. So we'll go, this might be hard to show on camera, guys, but anyways, I'll try. So there you can see your top dead center mark, and there is, you can see your gear there. So I'll try and get it from over here. Maybe I'll set the camera here without blocking the light. You can get your mirror in there, and top center. See that mark right there? It's lined right up at the top dead center mark right there. So now we can get to adjusting our valves. I'll list off which ones to do. Okay, so once you got it at top dead center, you can start by doing these right here. I got them wrote down. Set this here. So your intake cylinder, you can do your intake, you can do number 1, and then on your number 2 cylinder you can do your intake, and on your number 4 cylinder. And on your exhaust, you can do 1, 3, and 5. Hence you can do both of the ones because you're at top center on overlap here. So you want slight resistance. So right now I got my 10 thou on my intake. So your intake are shorter, your exhaust are longer, so on. Okay, so once you're at top center here, we can start adjusting valves. So I got it, whatever, showing you at top center. So you can start off, once you're at top dead center here, I got them written down here for you. So you can set your intake there. You can set it on cylinder 1, 2, and 4, and your exhaust at 1, 3, and 5. So there's your specs, your intake 10 thousandths of an inch and exhaust 20 thousandths of an inch. There is specs on that they can be out a bit, but I'm going to set them all right to the tightest they can go. I'm going to set them to spec what they say to set them at. Anyways, so you're going to differentiate your cylinders and your valves by whatever, you got 2 rockers per cylinder. So you're going to start off with 1 at the starting of your truck on your gear case side, which is your gears in here. I know in Marine we had some guys confused in school about that with a gear case you got your drive at the back of your motor off your flywheel, so they were thinking that's your gear case. So they're trying to set your injection time in backwards on the motor, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong. But anyways, this is the gear case up here. So anyways, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll start off, since number 1's at top center, you got your overlap, that's why you can set both of them. So your intakes are your shorter ones here, and your exhaust are your longer ones, whole way down. So you want to shove right into underneath, or above your bridge there. Where so I got a 10 thou in there right now, and you just want your slight resistance on it, and this thing is set dead on 10 thou. It's perfect. And I checked this one at 20 thou, it's perfect too. So we're gonna just get to setting all of these ones, then rotate it over. So I'll get to setting them all, and then we'll rotate it over. Okay, so we're all done our first adjustment, then we'll have to bring it around here 360 to do our other adjustments. They all seem pretty much fine. There's a couple that were out, maybe a thousandths or something, so I mean, you don't need to tighten them up, but I did anyway, so I know where they're all at. We'll see where the next ones are, so we'll go to rotate this. What I did to make it easier, some guys mark your vibration dampener down there, but this is easier. See, it kind of shows up all as one here with this LED light, but there's a white dot I put on there at top center, which I'll make sure with the mirror again once I get rotated around to the bottom. But we're just gonna, that'll give me a good reference to look at while I'm cranking, and I can do the final adjustments to get her dead on with the mirror. So we'll get to doing that. Okay, so there we go. We rotated around bottom dead there. See the line pointing straight down there? It was very easy, just rotate the motor backwards. So now we'll get to setting our exhaust valves here. I'll show you the specs. Okay, so we basically rotated at 360 degrees. Some guys call it bottom center, whatever. You're rotating at 360, you're just going from top to bottom to top again. But that just means that your partner piston there, whatever you want to call it, number 6, is just going to be at its power stroke, or on compression right now. So you're at number 6 there. So your far one back there should be on overlap, so you can adjust your intake on 356 and your exhaust on 246. So we're just going to start with number 6 and get both of them done while we're back there. And okay guys, so we did them all. It was very simple. All we got to do now is throw on this breather here, whatever you want to call it, vent. Everything was pretty much in spec. I had to actually loosen off 2 of the exhaust valves, like they were like way too tight. So anyways, I loosened them off, got them to 20. So now we got to torque them. Okay, so that's all done. What you got to do, it's a good time to inspect, because this is a reusable valve cover gasket. I never got one because I priced one and it was 260 bucks for the gasket. So what you're supposed to install it dry, so I just wipe off the oil on it. Go around, do that all the way around. I'm going to clean up my valve cover right here. Well, it's off, a little bit dirty, not bad, but I'm not sure if it's leaking or not, or if this is from previous when I spilled on oil changes when they've went over and I just see it there. So I'm going to clean it all up and then put it back on just so I can tell if it's leaking or not. And I just put the crank, put the breather on there. It's back on, turn it back on, put the clamp back on. Then we'll throw our valve cover on, torque that down, and we're pretty much done. Okay, so we're just finishing torquing this up. 18 foot-pounds, or this is inch-pounds, so 216. You'll pretty much feel it. It all of a sudden it'll go easy like this, and then you'll feel it tighten up here. There we go. There, she's torqued up. So I did all my valve train. Did this. You start from the middle, work your way out, clean that up a bit, the valve cover, and made sure the seal was dry. Just went around with a rag, wiped it all off. And this took me about maybe 2 hours now, but I've been filming this thing too. So I mean, if you're gonna go in here, run in, take that off, take all your bolts out, rip your valve cover off, start adjusting, line her up at top center. That's about it. It should only take you, I think, maybe an hour, hour and a half, depends how particular you are and how much you have to set. Again, easy video, or easy task to do, I should say. And that's about all I have for you. So if you got any questions, give me a comment. I can give you information where I got my feeler gauges. The angled ones were a really good choice. I really liked them. I got them off of Amazon, and I can give you a link to them if you want. They're made by Lang Tools, and they're really good. It's got everything from 4/1000ths to an inch to 30/1000ths of an inch, and it doesn't skip one. It's everything you need there. So yeah, there you go. How to do adjust your valve clearance or your valve lash on a 99 Cummins. Should be the same spec for 98.5 to 02. Hope you liked the video, and please rate and subscribe. Thanks again, guys.